everyone, welcome to Venom Guidance. This is Dr. Anuja Sharma, and in this video we are going to talk about size exclusion chromatography. So let's get started. Now before we move forward with size exclusion chromatography, let me share some great news with you. Now this is very important for students who are in their masters and are planning on appearing for GATE 2021 exam. Now with just 2 months left for the GATE exam, there is so little time and so much to do for you. Well, as always, Unacademy is here to help you get one step closer to it. Unacademy is bringing to you the crash course batches for GATE 2021. These new batches will start from 1st December 2020. So register and book a spot now. Now these batches are specifically for MSc students. Also, you can check the ongoing courses along with these upcoming courses. These are the practice booster crash course and will cover the entire syllabus for GATE Life Science. Also, these are available in both Hindi and English language. This course will be taught by India's top educators and specialists, toppers and mentors. I think this is a great opportunity and you will definitely benefit from this course despite the stage of your preparation. So I suggest you don't miss this great chance. Click on the link in the description box and register now. Again, the link is in the description box. Click it, share it. So let's get into the video now. Now, chromatography is basically an analytical technique which is used to separate a mixture of molecules into its individual components, and size exclusion chromatography is one of the types of chromatography. So let's talk about size exclusion chromatography. Now let's get into the basics first. Now, size exclusion chromatography is a column chromatography and it is a packed bed column chromatography. Now this is a liquid solid chromatography, which means the mobile phase is liquid and the stationary phase is solid. So the stationary phase could be made up of silica beads, agarose gel or dextran. Now this is an elution type of chromatography. That means the mobile phase runs through the entire stationary phase and is eluted at the last. Now the separation in size exclusion chromatography, as it says by the name itself, is on the basis of molecular size of the components. Now, size exclusion chromatography is also known as molecular exclusion chromatography. It is also known as gel filtration chromatography and gel permeation chromatography. Now, size exclusion chromatography is called gel filtration chromatography when the mobile phase is a buffer, while it is called gel permeation chromatography when the mobile phase is an organic solvent. Now, let's see how it works basically. So, consider this column and it is filled with, for example, silica beads, and these silica beads, they have different pore sizes. See, the resin which is used in size exclusion chromatography, it is made up of beads with pore size of a range basically. So initially the buffer is run through the stationary phase, and then the mixture of solvent or the mixture of components of interest is introduced into the liquid phase, into the mobile phase, and it runs through the stationary phase. Now depending on the size of the molecules present in the mixture, some of these molecules will enter these beads and they will be retained by the beads. Now there are certain other molecules that will not be retained by the beads because they are larger than the pore size of the beads, and they will leave the column through these spaces. Now these molecules which are larger than the pore size of the beads, they will not be retained and they will be the first to be eluted. Okay. Then next, the molecules which lies in the size range of these pores, they will enter these beads and they will be next to be eluted and they will be separated based on their molecular size. See, for how long they actually remain in the stationary phase, it depends on their size. Okay, so once the larger molecules have separated, the next in line will be separated on the basis of the size, in the decreasing order of the size actually. And then there are the molecules that are even smaller than the smallest pore size of these beads, and these molecules will enter the whole volume of the stationary phase and they will be the last one to be eluted. So see, this is the manual kind of size exclusion chromatography. If you're talking about the automation, then this column is basically connected to a detector. Okay. So initially when the buffer starts run, it is the straight line And then when the larger molecules start to separate or to see, the larger molecules doesn't actually separate. So when the larger molecules start leaving the column and this peak appears, okay, that's when the larger molecules are collected in the collecting tube. And then the molecules that are smaller than those larger molecules, they enters the beads and then they are separated, and then the smaller molecules are separated, and in the last the molecules that enter the whole volume are separated. So this is the basic mechanism of the size exclusion chromatography. And if you're talking about manual, you just collect them as they come out, and if you're talking about the automated ones, then they connect it to the detector, and once the peak is detected, they start eluting. So the resins that are used in size exclusion chromatography, for example, Cephalodex, which is made up of dextran, and Superdex, which is made up of dextran and agarose. So these are the kind of resins that are used in size exclusion chromatography, and they can be of different pore sizes. Okay, now size exclusion chromatography are of two types. The first one is preparative and the second one is analytical. Now preparative chromatography is a high resolution chromatography which is basically a size based separation of biomolecules for further analysis or scale up, and this can be used to separate one or more components from a mixture of components. And an example of preparative chromatography is the separation of IGF-1 from ZZ fusion protein partners. So the IGF-1 is smaller in size as compared to the fusion protein, which is larger in size. Now the next type of size exclusion chromatography is analytical chromatography. Now analytical chromatography is basically used for size profiling of proteins, biomolecules, and it is generally used to analyze the stability of a protein or to analyze the size of the protein. And an example of analytical size exclusion chromatography is separation of monoclonal IgG antibodies from its aggregates. Now the size exclusion chromatography is used for two purposes. The first one is desalting and or buffer exchange, and second one is fractionation. So let's talk about desalting and buffer exchange now. Now desalting and buffer exchange means the removal of small molecules like salt from larger molecules or biomolecules like proteins. Now in case of desalting or buffer exchange, you have to use a resin with pore size which is much smaller than your molecule of interest. So the molecule of interest, it does not enter the pores, it does not enter the beads and is separated through the void volume. Void volume is the volume that is not covered by the beads. Now void volume or VO, it is also known as mobile phase volume, because this is the volume that's occupied by the mobile phase. So your molecule of interest has to leave first, and it has to leave through the void volume and it's collected. Examples of desalting or buffer exchange is the removal of nucleotides that have not been used during DNA sequencing, or the removal of phenol red before ion exchange chromatography, specifically anion exchange chromatography. And another example is removal of aggregates or cofactors from enzymes. These are all the examples of desalting or buffer exchange. Now for desalting or buffer exchange, generally used resins are Cephalodex G25 or G10 and Cephalodex, which is made up of dextran. Now another purpose of size exclusion chromatography is fractionation. Now fractionation is the normal size exclusion chromatography, like we have already discussed. Now in case of fractionation type of size exclusion chromatography, the size of your molecule of interest, it should actually lie between the size range of the pores of the resin that you're using. So that your molecule of interest, it does not leave through the void volume, it penetrates the pores of the beads, it is and is separated. Now when we talk about the pores of the beads, when we talk about the volume that is occupied by these beads, it is known as VI, or it is known as internal pore volume. This is also the volume that has been occupied by the stationary phase volume, so it is also known as stationary phase volume. And these two volumes combined is the total volume of the column, also known as column volume. So in case of fractionation, your molecule of interest should through the internal pore volume and not through the void volume. So these molecules, the larger molecules, the first peak, these are separated through the void volume, and these all they are separated through the internal pore volume. And the molecules that are even smaller than the smallest pore size and leave the column at the last, they separate through the total volume of the column. Now, fractionation is basically used for the removal of dimer or aggregates from monoclonal antibodies, or it is used for the separation and analysis of biomolecules like proteins. Now, fractionation basically cannot be used to separate if the size of the molecule is too close. So in that case, this is basically used as a polishing step. So once the molecules have been through other chromatography steps like affinity chromatography or ion exchange chromatography, and finally they are subjected to size exclusion chromatography, final polishing step. Now let's talk about what are the different factors that are responsible for the best resolution of separation of molecules during size exclusion chromatography. So the first factor is pore size. See, the smaller the pore size of your beads, the higher is the resolution of separation. Now next is the column, and in case of column, the first factor is the dimension of the column. See, the longer the column, the higher the resolution of the separation of your molecules. And the width of the column, well, it depends on the size of the sample that you're going to use. So if your size of your sample is large, then the width of the column should be larger. The next one is the packing of the column. See, the column should not be overpacked. It should be properly packed. If the column is overpacked, then the pores will be collapsed. And if the column is underpacked, the sample, your molecule of interest won't be able to interact with these beads, and they will leave through the void volume. So the packing has to be as such the pores doesn't get collapsed and your molecules can interact with the beads and enter the pores. Now the last one is flow rate. Now the moderate flow rate is best for size exclusion chromatography. See, if the flow rate is too fast, then the molecules won't have time to interact with these beads, with these pores, and they'll leave through the void volume and they won't be separated. But if the flow rate is too low, if the flow rate is too slow, then the molecules, they will take too long to separate and the time of the exclusion chromatography will increase. So if you're trying to optimize your size exclusion chromatography, you should select a pore size which has a range within which the size of your molecule falls, and also it's smaller enough for high resolution. Also, you should select a column with the dimension that are suited to your sample and sample size. Then you should choose a properly packed column for higher resolution. Now the flow rate should be as such that the resolution is maintained and also separation time is as minimum as it can be without disturbing the resolution of separation. Now let's talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of size exclusion chromatography. Now among the advantages, the first one is efficient for desalting, and also it's a fast process when you consider desalting because in case of desalting, the pore size is actually smaller than the molecule of interest and the molecule leaves through the void volume, so it is the first one to leave the column, so it is quite fast and efficient. Second one is mild conditions are used during size exclusion chromatography. The third one is high yield. You see, in size exclusion chromatography, there is no physical or chemical interaction between the mixture that you're trying to separate and the stationary phase, or between the mixture you're trying to separate and liquid and the mobile phase. So no molecule of interest is actually lost during the chromatography process. So high yield is obtained. Now numerous buffers, you have a large choice of buffers during size exclusion chromatography. You can use water-based buffers or you can use organic solvents as mobile phase. Now, separation of aggregates. During size exclusion chromatography, you can use size exclusion chromatography to separate aggregates from monoclonal antibodies. Now, also you can use more than one column in size exclusion chromatography. So, different columns which have resin of different pore sizes can be used during the same process. Now, some of the disadvantages are limited sample volume. So, you can only use a limited amount of sample to separate during size exclusion chromatography. Now, it's a long process because the sample is actually retained by the pores, and it might take longer for them to enter and leave the pores and then leave the column. So, it's a long process. And since buffer is used during size exclusion chromatography, and when the sample or the sample of interest is actually eluted, it is eluted with the buffer. The sample gets diluted during the whole process. Now, size exclusion chromatography can also be quantitative. So you can run a sample consisting of molecules of known molecular size, and then you can run your sample, and from the standard graph you can get the molecular size of your molecule of interest. So it can also be used to measure the molecule size of unknown molecules. Now, that's all about size exclusion chromatography. I'll see you in the next video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon for latest updates. Thank you.